Okay, my opponent would like you to believe that by legalizing prostitution, it prevents the spread of STDs, and also that it would stop the violence. I'm here to refute these claims and prove that they're false. According to Janice Raymond, who is a co-director of Coalition Against Trafficking in Women, she stated that 47% of men that went into these brothels expected sex without a condom. 73% reported that men offered to pay more for sex without a condom, and 45% of women said they were abused if they insisted that men use condoms. Also, in these brothels, according to Jeffrey J. Barrows, he said that that prostitutes, once they found out they were HIV positive, it was highly unlikely that they would quit these jobs, thus still promoting HIV and the spread of STDs, which is pretty gross. Secondly, my opponent stated that if we legalize prostitution, it would stop the violence. This is also false because, according to CNN.com, on February 23rd, the police did a raid and they found 500 people connected to a prostitution ring. 48 of these people that were arrested were juveniles, meaning they were underage. And what they found there was they found illegal drugs and other things like that. Okay, also in prostitution, 62% of women have reported rape in prostitution. 73% reported having experienced physical assault in prostitution, and 92% stated that they wanted to escape prostitution immediately. Also, according to prostitutionresearch.com, a lot of these prostitutes experience PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, the same things that soldiers in Vietnam and soldiers in wars experience. Basically, what happens is they experience a lot of anxiety, and they have a lot of psychological damage to them and emotional trauma. And what will happen is that they'll experience a lot of flashbacks to this, causing a lot of harm to them. According to this website, 67% of these prostitutes were diagnosed with PTSD in 5 different countries. Also, now I'd like to move on to how taxing prostitution would not be beneficial. Basically, if we would legalize prostitution and collect taxes off this, would the state basically be becoming a large commercial life pimp? We'd be profiting off these women suffering in these brothels daily. Also, according to Donna M. Hughes, who's a professor at the University of Rhode Island, stated that Germany tried to legalize prostitution and they were successful, and they believed that they were going to reap in hundreds of $millions in euros in tax revenues when they legalized prostitution. But what they realized was this was actually false. It turns out that a lot of these sex brothels fail to pay taxes, and in turn, Germany has actually lost 2 billion euros a year in unpaid tax revenue for the sex industry. Finally, I'd like to state how legalizing prostitution would degrade women. Basically, prostitution would make women basically a commodity that people can buy when they feel like they want. It is also inhumane and degrading punishment. also, okay, most people who go into these brothels have a certain fantasy they would like to act out with these girls. And according to prostitution.research.com, men call it the image of the whore when they are abusing their partners. The accusations in between the kicks and slaps, they say such words as whore and slut, degrading women. And basically, with these words, they're connected to the meaning subhuman and having no rights. And in 1991 in Southern California, police closed all rape reports made by prostitutes and addicts, placing them in the file stamped NHI. A letter stand for the words "no human involved," basically saying that women who were involved in prostitution weren't humans at all. So I'd like to restate that legalizing prostitution would not prevent STDs, and it would cause more violence. And legalizing prostitution would not be tax beneficial, and in the long run, it degrades women.